Do you ever feel frustrated or maybe even angry when you're playing Geometry Dash? Well, that's a dumb question, right? We're talking about one of the most rage-inducing games on the planet. No matter what difficulty you're playing at, frustration is just a key component of the game. We play it, we get frustrated, but we keep playing, and at some point we reach our goal. The cycle then continues. But what happens when the difficulty is raised up? When the amount of frustration heavily outweighs the reward? I want to share my experience with Ice Carbon Diablo X, my first Extreme Demon completion. I started playing it as a joke. I wanted to see how far I could get on an Extreme Demon. So at first there was little to no frustration. The pressure was off, and I didn't think it really mattered if I made any progress or not, because I didn't even think it was possible for me. But this all changed when I made it past the drop. I had just made significant progress on the level, and in an instant, the idea of beating an Extreme Demon seemed closer than ever before. It didn't just feel like a dream anymore. It was becoming reality. This is when I started putting in more time. I knew it was possible, I just had to put in the work. Every day after school, I immediately played Ice Carbon Diablo X, and I was making very quick progress, so the frustration level was still at 0. Soon, I made it past 41%, the hardest part of the level. And very soon after that, I made it past 50%. I was hitting all these milestones within a few days. It was exhilarating. Soon my building excitement gave way to one of my best flukes ever. Out of nowhere, I got 96% on the level. I was overjoyed. I felt like that any second I would beat my first Extreme Demon. In fact, I was already celebrating my victory. But what I didn't know is that there were very dark times ahead. Every day I continued to play Geometry Dash after school, but there was no progress anymore. I would go and try, and I'd keep trying, and I'd never make it back to the end sections of the level. With no feelings of accomplishment, my experience quickly degraded into pure frustration. I was working for hours, yet there was no reward. Some days I would even dread to play Ice Carbon Diablo X. I ended up treating it like a job, like it was my duty to beat this level. After a week of this and thousands of attempts, I started raging and hitting my desk when I died in stupid places. I could feel the frustration crawling under my skin, and every time I got done playing, I felt as if I had just wasted my entire afternoon on something pointless. It was miserable. So much so that I promised myself to never try another Extreme Demon again. After 2 weeks of an absolute roller coaster of emotions, I finally beat the level.
Oh my gosh.
And in an instant, that
gosh.
childlike
Oh my
excitement
gosh.
returned,
Oh my gosh.
and all the feelings of frustration vanished. Why was I even mad, I thought. This is totally worth it, I concluded. And then the very next day, I started playing harder Extreme Demons. But why? Why would I break my promise so easily? Why in the world would I want to go through that experience again? Is Geometry Dash an addiction? Let's think about it for a second. What exactly is an addiction? Well, in very simple terms, an addiction is an urge to do something that's hard to control or stop, even if it harms yourself or others. I can very quickly tell you from my personal experience, playing Ice Carbon Diablo X was something that was very hard for me to control. Every bit of free time I had, I was always thinking I needed to be working on it. I thought, the more I play it, the sooner I'll beat it. Even though I only played it for a few weeks, it definitely affected my mental state. I'm sure a lot of you viewers have been through the same thing, still returning to it every day even though you're sacrificing your free time in the process. So why? Why do we do this? First, let's talk about time. Time is a resource, and time is not unlimited. In fact, it's very limited. If we had unlimited time, then we could do anything we wanted to, and it wouldn't even be a factor in our stress and anxiety. We have a limited time on this earth, so we gotta use it wisely. Every moment of time is a fraction of your lifespan. That's why we humans are so careful about wasting our time. In fact, every decision we make about time is an investment. If I work 9 hours a day at a full-time job, that's an investment of my time in order to get other things like money. time is everything. Time equals life. So how does this relate? Let's go back to my example. Every day I spent my afternoon playing Ice Carbon Diablo X in hopes that I'd beat it one day. I invested my time in Geometry Dash practicing Ice Carbon Diablo X in order to have a higher chance of beating the level from 0. There is still a big degree of luck involved in beating an extreme demon. So where am I going with this? Well, I'm investing my time into something that's still based a bit on luck, and there's no guarantee I will actually beat the level. If I do beat the level, I'll be super happy and proud of my achievement. But if I don't beat the level, all of that invested time will become wasted and I'll end up at a loss. Doesn't this situation kind of sound familiar? Well, to me it sounds a lot like gambling. Though we aren't gambling with money, we're gambling with time. Time is a fraction of our limited lives, so we're gambling a portion of our lives on Geometry Dash. Well, is this what makes Geometry Dash so dang addicting? Do we like the thrill of investing our lives in an uncertain outcome? Is this crazy uncertainty what makes us keep coming back to the game even after a terrible experience? Is Geometry Dash a form of gambling? Is this what's going on? Well, maybe. Doesn't what I just described apply to almost everything we do in life? Isn't almost everything we do a gamble with our time? Say I watch a 90-minute movie, that's a gamble for my time. Or I study for a test, that's still a portion of my life that I'm investing. Or I clean my house or exercise. Isn't it all the same concept? So, what should we take away from all this? Does this mean we should quit playing Geometry Dash? Well, my answer to that is do what you want to do. Since almost everything we do is an investment of our time, then doesn't that make it our responsibility to choose what investments we make? My only advice is to be careful. Be careful gambling with Geometry Dash. Gambling can be a harmful addiction for a reason. If you enjoy playing Geometry Dash and it brings you happiness, then that's great. Keep playing it. And if you enjoy playing Extreme Demons, it's a good gamble. It's a good investment of your time. Thanks for watching. Keep sane, everyone.